Hey, what's up everyone? My name is techgeekjosh and I'm back again with a new video. And just yesterday I was able to cop this pretty strange and odd phone. This is the AT&T variant of the Samsung Galaxy J3 and I only got it, as the title suggests, for only $20. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So we're going to start off with the back just because I want to leave the front a surprise to everyone. So as you can see, it looks pretty okay from the back, apart from the usual wear and tear from, overtime use and whatnot. And the guy that I bought this from said it was only used for work sales. That's it, just work sales. Don't ask me what that means. That's what the person selling it said. So who knows what this phone could have been used for. But anyway, yeah, just some scratches, not too many. You can obviously still make out the Galaxy J3 branding and obviously the AT&T branding. And this is the original back cover. This is no Galaxy J3 Emerge on Boost Mobile or Virgin Mobile with a AT&T back cover. I can assure you that, just in case you were wondering. On this one, luckily the camera lens isn't cracked in any way. It could be slightly scuffed, but that's pretty much it. If you recall from my $20 J7 Prime video, on that phone, the rear camera lens was cracked, which is still unfortunate to this day. But considering I hardly use it, considering how many phones I actually have, which I do need to make a phone collection video, an updated one for 2019, I'll be getting to that hopefully pretty soon, but don't expect it in the next couple days. Probably, if anything, in the next couple weeks. But that's getting off track. Let's get back to the main attraction to this video. So yes, as you can see, basically nothing wrong with the back apart from the usual scratches and wear and tear from overtime use. But let's go ahead and finally take a look at the screen. Yeah, it looks basically in mint condition, and I was quite shocked that I was able to even get this phone in general, and I was quite shocked on the condition of the screen actually. So anyway, and by the way, before I go any further, it works 100%, and I'll get to that in a moment as I bump the tripod. So anyway, basically nothing wrong with the screen, and let's go ahead and take a look around the sides. As you can see, it's actually in fairly nice condition. No major dings or scrapes on any of the corners on this phone. On the bottom, as you can see, on the top, very minimal damage, if any, around the sides. Just the major damage is on the back. And well, let's go ahead and turn it on. Check it out. And now it's probably not going to appear too well on camera because, well, one of my awful lighting in this little area, and two, because of the wallpaper on this phone. But let me try and show you guys to the best of my ability. But I'm not sure if you can see that too well, but there is a yellow ring around this little corner, going up from the battery percentage and on down to like right here, right above my finger. I can see it on camera, but I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see it. But trust me, there's a slight yellow ring right down here. Well, on the screen, not down here, my mistake. But yeah, that's basically the most damage on this phone. And this is one problem, or I should say the second problem, that I have with this phone. See how it's all bright on the lock screen, and there's the brightness right there. Can someone please tell me why it goes this dim on the lock screen? And I have the usual lock screen set up, and as you can see, it's just fine. No problems with it whatsoever. It's a 16 gigabyte AT&T J3. And yeah, everything works on it except for that little damage like I showed you. I could probably change the wallpaper to better demonstrate it. And you can actually see it ever so slightly better from this view, from this screen. I don't know, like right by the weather. Just look up by the weather. You can probably see that faint yellow half ring. Not ring, but half ring. Let's see if I can focus on that for a couple seconds. Just look up by the 45-degree number. You should be able to see it. But other than that, this thing works 100%. But the major problem that I had with this is that the battery that this thing came with, which, let me go ahead and pop off the back cover really quick. So now that I have the back cover off, you can see that it has a pretty much original battery. But get this, this is not the battery to this phone. Or I should say, in other words, this is not the battery that came with this phone. In other words, I should say. So I'm getting my speech a little mixed up today, like I normally do. But this battery is actually from this phone. Yes, that battery from that J3, which is right here, this battery came from this Samsung J3 Prime. And if you guys recognize this phone, this is exactly the same phone that I did a trade with Electronic Consumer, or there we go again, I'm getting my speech a little mixed up. This is the exact same phone that I got when I traded Electronic Consumer, so I still have this thing around. Was Google locked, but I bypassed it many months ago, probably at least like 2 or so years ago, and it's been up and running ever since, but that's beside the point from this video. But let me go ahead and pop off the back on this phone as well. And this battery right here, well, I don't know why I just did that, you can obviously see it, but this battery right here was in that AT&T J3. I don't know why it doesn't show any of the branding or anything. I'm pretty sure it's foil around the outside of the battery. If I bring in this one, this is foil on the outside. I'm not even sure if this is the original battery, but the main problem that I had with this phone when I first got it, when this battery was originally in here, was the fact that it did not want to work correctly. And let me try and explain it to the best of my ability, so it may take me a little bit to explain it, so just bear with me. But when I first got this phone with this battery in here, as you can see, I clearly did a battery swap because the battery that came in here actually fits in here, and I don't recall this phone having NFC, which this battery does, and this battery came from this phone. But anyway, that's beside the point. This phone was dead when I very first got it. I actually met him at a Walmart near me. Yeah, we actually met up at Walmart and I bought it, and unfortunately this thing was dead. Upon purchasing, I tried to turn it on and it wouldn't turn on. I texted him basically saying I was really expecting to use it right when I got it, but it obviously was dead after multiple tries on turning it on, and that's when it had this battery in here. And let me see. And then when we were done shopping, we left the store, we got in the car, and I tried to, or I should say, I plugged this thing into the car charger, and hold on, let me try and get this out as best as I can. After multiple tries of plugging it into the car charger portion of the ports in our car and the actual USB port of our car, if that somewhat makes sense, the two ports in a car, the car charging part and the normal USB part, this thing really didn't want to turn on. But after, like, I'd say, like, not even an hour of trying to do that before we got home, it did finally show some life, and it showed the the standard screen where it shows the battery charging and like a lightning bolt in the center of the battery. Yeah, it finally showed that, and then it told me that it was at, if I recall, I think it first told me it was at like 28% was this battery in here. I'm just trying to make that clear for everyone. But yeah, and I turned it on, and the guy previously, before we met up, he said it was clear of any locks. It didn't have any locks of any sort, and that was true. It was not locked of any sort, and as you can see, it does have a AT&T SIM card, but that's beside the point. Just thought I would like to just, point that out. My other J3 Prime doesn't have anything of the sort because I hardly use it. Anyway, no locks and whatnot, and I go to turn it on, and it turns on just fine. A little weird. I thought it was a little weird how it turned on, but anyway, it turned on, and I, swiped to unlock and everything, and it did not have any locks, anything. It wasn't on the setup screen, it was just on the main home screen when you get a brand new, and everything was obviously like brand new from out of the box, and I go to like check it out, swipe through the screens and whatnot, tap the app drawer, and scroll back and forth between the app pages to check it out, and it just freaking turns off. Literally, it just turns off. And a couple minutes go by, and I try and mess with like the charging port and whatnot, and well, to sum it up, it basically didn't work with our car charger or the ports in our car. And I'm not blaming our car for that, by the way. And it may seem like this thing may have a bad charging port, but I basically am pointing out and I'm basically blaming this battery for making this thing act weird and act funny. So basically doing this battery swap, this thing is basically working like normal for the most part. I haven't had any restarts or I haven't had it shut off on me. As you can see, it obviously is working. I would like someone to please explain why it gets this dark. Do I have a certain setting enabled or something that I don't know about? But anyway, besides that, as you can see, I haven't had it turn off on me unexpectedly or whatnot. It's been working just like normal. It's on its first charge using that J3 Prime battery, and it's doing quite well for the most part. And I would honestly really enjoy using this phone probably on a somewhat daily basis, apart from it not being activated because it's obviously not on my carrier. But everything works on this phone. No problems with it whatsoever. And yeah, as you can see, no touch problems whatsoever. Everything works. Cameras work. Basically a fully working J3 Prime on AT&T. But yes, like I was saying, I would really actually like to use this on a daily basis. And honestly, at this very moment, I don't want to keep this battery in this phone for too necessarily long because, well, that's just how I am for some odd reason. I want to put this battery back in the phone that it came out of and look around for a spare battery for this phone. And knowing how I am and I can't buy anything online, I don't know how I'm going to search for one. I'll probably search on Letgo, or I'll probably go to the swap meet eventually, our swap meet, and maybe look for one, even though I highly doubt they'll have any around or anybody selling them. But basically, getting another battery for this phone hopefully will make it, to where I can actually use it probably for just a couple days, not too long, but nothing is stopping me from using it like it is now. So anyway, yeah, that's that. And well, that looks like it's gonna do for me in this video. So if you guys have enjoyed this video in any way possible, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so that you'll never miss out on when I upload. And with all that being said, everyone, I will catch you guys again in the next video. Oh, actually, before I go, I know you guys probably would have clicked out of the video by now, but if you're still watching, I also forgot to mention that the guy said he had no problems with it, and that the charging port, he thought the charging port worked, and it does charge just fine, by the way, and that he had no issues with it, like I just said, and that he hasn't used this thing in 7 months. That's quite a long time, actually. And this little thing bugs me, but I don't know why my clock is black. Isn't it supposed to be white? That's probably just nitpicking at this point. But anyway, yeah, he said he hasn't used this thing in 7 months, and that it was basically up in a shoebox. Yes, apparently it was stored in a shoebox for about 7 months. So I just thought I would include that because I left it out in this video. So now, with all that in mind and being said, I'll see you guys later.